Alright guys, I know in Contest Winners Build Part 5 I said I was going to go ahead and start working on the silos, but in the last couple of comments, last couple of videos, the comments I've received was about the people door, and some of you guys liked it with the windows and some of you guys said no, a warehouse is supposed to have steel doors. So if you would like to see how I went from this to this, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. This is going to be Contest Winners Build number 6. And I know I told you in part 5 that I would be doing the silos, but there was one wall that I was concerned about if I could make doors for the building that are proper for the building. Don't know if I'll get to the silos in this video because there'll be a 7-minute video of an incident I had with DIGITRAX in this past week. So I hope you guys stay to the end and watch that. It'll be at the end of this part 6. That's why I'm saying I don't know if I'll get to the silos in this video. Anyhow, I showed you at the beginning of this clip how I took one door and made it into another door. If you'd like to see how I did that, stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright, so in order to start doing the door project, this is what I need to do. First of all, we'll take the factory door and we will cut out the section that has the panes of glass in it, and you'll wind up with something like this. After this is done, what I did was I cut a piece of 10,000 styrene that would fit right inside of here. So I began to do a little bit of a design, and what I wanted to do was, as you saw in the beginning, is put a small window in the steel door because they do have windows in them. So like I said, I started with the 10,000 styrene, and I had a few failures because of the thickness. As you can see on this one here, that it actually broke. And then the same thing with these guys, they all broke. Just trying to cut out the window. The plastic was too thin, and any slip of the blade, you're done. Anyhow, I finally wound up with this. But as you can see, this is pretty flimsy and I didn't like it. So what I did was I moved on to a thicker plastic. This is 20,000s. And I also found out that working with the full sheet like it is right now is a lot easier to work with. So I went ahead and copied what I already had done. And now all I need to do is cut the window out and then cut them down and fit them. And that's how it's done so far. I'm also going to show you on the garage doors what I come up with that. So let me begin with this. And by the way, for you guys that are keeping track, that's number 6. And I want a real sharp blade to cut the windows out. And I will make the blade do the first score because I don't want to slip and mess up the plastic. Anyhow, let me get going with that, and we'll see how it works out from there. So, you saw me cutting that out, and I think you probably saw the collateral damage I had. The entire top piece broke off. But that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim these windows out. And what I'm going to use to trim them out is going to be this number 8102, and it's HO scale 1x2s. Or otherwise it's 28 thousandths by 56, 28 millimeters by 56 millimeters. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and get on with that, and we'll see how we progress from there. Alright, I decided to make another decision on this door. What I'm going to do is, the piece that I told you is way too thin when I first started this project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the back side of this, so it'll give it a little bit more strength on these little pieces on the side here, and then I'll trim it down to fit the window that I already cut out. So let's go ahead and get on with that. So I'm going to flip this over, and what I'm going to do is give it a light touch up with the sanding stick or nail file, just to get all the glue down that I put on there. And that feels pretty good. Over here. Alright, so now I'll go ahead and take my Model Masters glue that I've been using all along for all my builds, and we'll go ahead and put some on here. Now I'll just take this piece and put him on the back side and line him up as best I could. All the way up to the top. There we go. Sorry if I'm out of focus, guys, but I'm watching what I'm doing here rather than watching the camera. Alright, so as you can see inside there, I'm going to have to trim that little piece out, but I feel that it's just going to make this a bit stronger and I don't have to worry about it. Anyhow, now I'll get on with the trim part. Alright guys, now that I have my piece laminated on the back, as you can see right here, I went ahead and trimmed down the window, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my mini files, if I can find the right one. It's a flat file, and I'm just going to go ahead and clean up the hole before I actually do the trim work on it. So, let me get going with that, and I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Alright guys, now comes the fun part. To get this little bitty molding around this window. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start doing this job. Let's take a glue here. We're going to do short size first on this one. So, now I need to let you see the finished product here. This was the original one that I did, as you can see. And I know that I made that window a wee bit too big. But here's the next one I did, and you can see a comparison in the windows. It's a lot different, a lot better looking. I'm not going to throw this away because it was quite time consuming in this, and I don't see myself doing this in N scale. Also, we got all three doors done now. So these need to get painted, and then we'll move on to the freight doors and show you what I got going on with that. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, so now all three of the people doors are painted, and I'm going to bring you up close here and show you the little detail that I put in here. If you guys are going to be able to see this, get some light on it. But right there, I put a little dimple in there, and it looks like a doorknob. I might do something different with that. I was thinking of using an N-scale track nail, but the knob was kind of out of scale, so I didn't think I was going to use that. I'll come up with something on that. But anyhow, now it's time for us to move on to garage doors or freight doors or whatever you want to call them. So, let me move these guys out of the way. And this was my first design for a freight door. I put these strips in here to give it the appearance of a joint, but then I'm thinking to myself, well, it wouldn't be a joint if there was a piece of molding there. It would just have to be like a cut mark to make it look like a groove. So I moved on to this one, and this one is just grooved lines in here. As you can see, they're not very straight. I was just doing this as a test. I kind of like this, and after I sanded it down, it looked pretty good. So I moved on, and I created this little thing right here. Now I know these strips here are what gets mounted to the back side of the wall. I want this to have a little bit of depth to it, so that's why I'm moving it back this whatever amount this is right here. I put the window in because I was looking at some photos of freight doors and mostly all of them had a window in it, so I decided to put a window. On the other one, the second one of these that I did, I actually cut the hole for the window off center, so it looks kind of stupid. So what I might do is, if you can see that mark right there and that mark right there, I might extend this window out and then put a couple of mullions in there to make it look like different pieces of glass. When you screw something up, you need to figure out a way to unscrew it up. And so that was my way of doing it. So now that I have this piece done, I'll show you what it's going to look like when I put it in the wall. I have the wall right here. I'm working in my original work area. But anyhow, that will fit in there just like that. Make sure it's straight. So it'll fit in there just like that. And then what I intend to do is, if I move you over to the other side, is to do that. And then of course I'll put another piece of molding down here. And these are only temporarily glued into place. But as you can see that this window, if I can get this around a better angle, you can see that this window is not centered in this door. So I need to move it over. So the only way for me to fix that is either make it just a little bit bigger or make it big. I'll make that decision here in a few minutes, and we'll see where it goes. So stay tuned and we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, what you're looking at now is the track side of the building. As you can see, I've got the doors in there. Everything is temporary on here. The doors are masking tape on the back side, and so is this door. These are temporarily glued in place because they're on top of painted masking tape. But anyhow, as you can see on this door here, I did make the window a bit wider and I put a mullion in the middle, and I still need to do this one. But anyhow, as long as I know everything fits and it's going to look good on here, this wall is 100% ready for exterior paint. So we'll see how that goes here in a while. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Next item, the last wall we have to work on, is the very rear wall, and we'll get into that as we move on. Well, you guys might be wondering why I'm showing you a business card of my local hobby shop. I've been dealing with Bob since I moved here in 2003. When I'm not buying stuff online, I go to my local hobby shop. This hobby shop is approximately 4 miles from my house. Anyhow, I will have a special announcement about this situation coming up in a few weeks, so stay tuned for that. Now we'll get on to the rest of the model of David Durbin's build. Be back in a minute. Alright guys, this is going to be the final clip or clips for this video. What you're looking at in front of you right now is the rear wall, and as you can see, I need to do the freight door and the people door. Anyhow, for the freight door, I'm going to be using the same stuff I used on the other 4 doors, and what I did to secure the paper to the backing was I used this 3M general purpose number 45 spray adhesive. It seems to work very well. I didn't get any bubbles into this, so the next step for me to do is actually paint this with the metallic paint that I painted all the others, and then I'll show you what this wall is going to look like with the doors in place. So let me go out and paint this, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, what you're looking at is the final doors that I had to do for this building. Now that they are complete, I can go ahead and do an exterior and an interior paint. As you can see right here, I used that metallic paint for the garage door. I added my trim around the door, and it's temporarily glued in. Because there's tape there, I just put a couple of drops of glue just to hold it in place. The tape is just holding the loading platform. And over here, I don't know if you guys are going to see this, so let me see if I can get you in there nice and close so you can see right there. This camera won't stay where I want it to stay. Anyhow, when I cut the hole out for this door right here, I accidentally made it too big. So, to overcome that problem, what I'm going to do is right down here, you see this white styrene, that's going to be a step. It may be prototypical, it may not be prototypical, I don't know, but it's my way of covering up a mistake. Yes, and there has been quite a few mistakes. Well, that's going to do it for this part of the build. I'm going to end it with my regular outro, but I will start another video immediately after this one about my experience with DIGITRAX in the past week and a half. So I hope you guys stay tuned. It's got some good information in there. Anyhow, for now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 out. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another VinnyVid Productions video. I really don't want to post this video, and I hope I don't have to, but this is a little story about a company that I have buying their products for 6 years. That company is DIGITRAX. I normally never had any problem with warranty with them. Send them a decoder, 2 weeks later I get a new decoder back, boom, done deal. The story goes like this. A year ago, January, Jack gifted me 3 decoders from DIGITRAX, and I told him to pick them up through Pfeiffer Hobby, and he did exactly that. So I've had problems with 2 of the 3 right out of the bag. They didn't work. And Ryan, you probably remember this if you're watching this video, when we tried to get that SD70 Mac running, we were having problems with that decoder. But anyhow, unfortunately, I just couldn't come up with the $5 to send it back to send 2 decoders back to them. This past Christmas, I had a couple extra bucks in my pocket, and I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and ship these back to them. Like I said earlier, usually 2-week turnaround time. So now it's 6 weeks. I sent it to them at the beginning of December. It's 6 weeks already, so I'm going to give them a call and see what's going on. So I called them on Friday. I think today's Monday the 22nd. I called them on Friday, and the warranty person told me I can't warranty that. And I said, why not? I said, it's under the year, it's still within the warranty time period. She goes, because you're a third party. What? What the heck is a third party? She goes, your name is not on the receipt. And I said, that's right. I said, the person who bought them for me gave me the receipt in case I had a problem. I could send you the receipt and a decoder. Anyhow, she told me it was not going to happen. So I told Jack about this, and Jack said, well, you know what, I'll give him a call and see if we can straighten it out. I said, okay. So he called him today. Like I said, it's Monday the 22nd, and the same warranty person told him the same exact thing. Sorry, we can't warranty it because this is a third-party situation. And Jack said, it's not a third-party situation. I bought him a gift, and I sent him the gift. Well, I'm sorry, to us that's third party. I said, well, that's screwed up. I said, the warranty says 1 year. Even if I take it and break it in half, you're gonna replace it. So what is the difference? Anyhow, after Jack called, I called back. And I spoke to the same exact lady. Her name is Brenda. And she said, yes, she spoke to Jack, and the situation is still the same, that it's not under warranty because you're a third party. So, now I'm thinking, the 2 throttles that Roy just gave me last week, I said, so if something happens to those 2 throttles, they're not going to be warranted because it was a gift? Come on, DIGITRAX, wake up, man. Doesn't make any sense, your policy of third party. The person who sent it to me never even used them. They were in the bag the way you ship it. It's the way I got it. Anyhow, I am going to make one more phone call, and that'll be the 4th call. 3 from me and 1 from Jack. If I don't get satisfaction on this next phone call, this video will be posted. And I want to tell you guys, be careful when you buy your stuff. DIGITRAX is not the only company in the world. You know, NCE is there, Lens is there, and there's probably others I don't even know about that are out there. And probably you can probably make one out of Arduino. Who knows? But anyhow, just fair warning to my YouTube family. Be careful with DIGITRAX products, because in my books, DIGITRAX is down. See all those locomotives behind me? Every one of them has a DIGITRAX decoder in it. That's right. And that's not all of them. There's still some that are stored away. But yeah, everything I have in this layout is all DIGITRAX. I've been loyal to them for 6 years. And they're going to leave me holding this bag of 2 decoders that cost them maybe 10 cents to make. Maybe 20 cents. I don't know. Mass producing them, they probably cost them jack crap. Anyhow, I guess that's it. Let's see what happens with my next phone call. If you see this video, it means it didn't go good. As the sign said, DIGITRAX is going to leave me holding the bag for 2 decoders. One of my subs that I had spoken to about the situation took it upon himself to call NCE and TCS, and they don't care if it was a gift or you just bought it over the counter or whatever. You can send it back to them and they'll warranty it. So, buyer beware. If you intend to do a DIGITRAX gift to someone, don't do it. Either send them the money, let them buy it, or go with the other 2 brands. That's all I can say. And there's ESU also, and all those other decoders that you can go with. I'm sorry that I had to say this about DIGITRAX. Like I said earlier, I'm a loyal user of theirs, but any decoders I buy from here on out is not going to be from DIGITRAX, and that I can guarantee. Anyhow, sorry to bring you all this bad news about DIGITRAX. I like it. I've had no problems, really no major problems with it. So anyhow, it's water under the bridge, and we'll see how it goes. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this entire video. And as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951